In my video last week, I talked about the strategy I've developed for avoiding a lot of social contact because of my existential dread and my inability to relate to others who don't live in that existential dread. And what I'm talking about is the realization that there are no answers to the biggest existential questions one might have, like what is the purpose of all of this? Why am I here? What is the meaning of life? And I have my speculations around this, of course, but I feel like I cannot share these with others. So I've developed this elaborate strategy for avoiding social contact, or a lot of it, because I can't relate to others at that level, or many others, I should say. And I wasn't aware of this strategy, but this is not what I want to share in this video. I'll link to this video here if you want to watch it. What I want to mention today is a development from a couple of days ago, exactly around this question that gave me, shall I say, a new level of ease around this situation. And this happened in a weekly Q&A call with somebody I call my teacher and mentor, Bernardo Kastrup, the philosopher and AI scientist. On the call, there was a person who asked a question, and it was a great question, but there was something that the person said towards the end of their elaboration, which prompted a comment from Bernardo that I hadn't thought about. And it was this: the person said, "I don't feel like I belong here." And by here, what he meant was life as a human being. And that's exactly how I feel. And maybe you feel the same way, but when I'm not engaged with life, which makes me completely forget all of this crap, I feel that existential dread, but I also feel that I don't belong here. And not in a negative sense where I'm contemplating my exit from here and stuff like that. Quite the opposite. I am making sure that I'm as healthy as possible on that side. But nonetheless, there's this perpetual tiredness, or tiredness, is that the English word for this, which I've been experiencing for many years now, at least 6-7 years, where in my private moments I just feel tired about being here. And when the person said that, I feel that I don't belong here, I also related with this very well, because that's exactly how I feel at a very deep level. It's like this level, this dimension, this whatever we're doing here is quite restrictive for me. Again, not to the degree where I need to exit, not that, but it's just, and it bothers me at the depths of my existence, that it's just always there. Anyways, and so when he said this, the next thing that came out from Bernardo was this. So the person said, "I feel like I don't belong here." And Bernardo said, "That's exactly the point of being here, of getting to the point where you feel that you don't belong here." And so if you're listening to this, I really want to invite you to stay with this for a moment, or for a few moments, because if you stay with it for just a moment, the dread might deepen. But I find some kind of existential level truth in that, that this is really the path that we get to that point where we realize that we don't belong here, that this, in a sense, this is not who we are. This is who we appear to be, but this is not who we truly are. And that's a part of it. How and why? Well, because existence itself, or nature itself, is understanding more about itself, or at least this is my belief. It's learning more about itself through us, through our own contemplation of our lives. And so, yes, the answers are not here. And the biggest questions don't have answers, at least not accessible from this level. But that is why we're here, because nature needs to contemplate itself through each one of us. And each one of these contemplations is unique and not repeatable, and it's eternal. And so there are two levels to this that when I'm thinking about it. One is this realization of, yes, that's exactly why I'm here, to realize that I don't belong here, that this is not the bottom of it. This is a very surface level, and answers are not here to be found to the biggest questions. But the other side of it is just normal everyday life, where we fully engage, not like I'm engaging at the moment, but where we fully engage and we lose ourselves in life, because that is how also nature discovers more about itself, when it just runs around through each one of us. 8 billion here just in the human form, but maybe all the entire animal kingdom just on this one planet, and who knows how many forms of life are out there that nature is exploring itself through us. And so what's the takeaway for me from all of this? It's this. Up until a few days ago, when I heard this from this person, the question itself and the comment from Bernardo, that this is exactly the point. We're meant to get to that point where we feel that we don't belong. I gave myself a new level of permission to be okay with that, with knowing and feeling at the depths of my being that I don't belong here. Whereas up until a few days ago, the realization was there, but the resistance to that was also there. So now the existential dread is still there, but I'm not topping that off with the resistance to it. And so at least how do I say this? I have a new level of okayness with my existential dread. I'm sorry if you expected more, that's not alleviating the deeper pain. But again, that's the point of it. The pain is there to be had, and we're here to realize that that's what it is, but also maybe to increasingly find more and more peace with it being that. So yeah, just wanted to share this. Do with it whatever you want, but if you stayed with me up until this moment, thank you so much. I don't take this lightly, and I'll see you next time.